Don't get bedazzled by the travel YouTube sector and fantasy. It ain't all that it's cracked up to be.
Showtime!
What's up, world? It's your boss, International Zone. And the title of this video is the travel YouTube or the travel YouTuber fantasy. And the reason I say fantasy because it's not all cracked up to what people think it is, number one. I also see a lot of people, going that route. Whether they're decided to be a travel vlogger, quitting their job, even doing it on the side as a side hustle. I've seen that sector or category of YouTube growing. And I think as somebody who has been doing it for about 5-6 years consistently, I just want to give you some realities of it. So let's start with the beginning. YouTube. There are 2.5 billion active users, monthly active users on YouTube. There are 64 million YouTube channels. 86% of YouTubers don't make any money. So out of 64 million, 86% don't make money. It means they're not monetized, or the little bit of money, the amount of money they make is so irrelevant. Okay. Out of the channels that do make money, right, which would be what, 14%? 96% of that 14% make $12,000 a year off their channels. So which means 96% of the monetized channels on YouTube make $1,000 a month. And usually to break on YouTube, it takes 2 years if you're lucky. 4 years is the mid-range, and then sometimes 7 years. And the travel sector or the travel space of YouTube is in the rankings number 13. So if you're on YouTube to make money, I would say you do education, finance, health and wellness, digital marketing, and relationships. Those are like some of the top categories, but travel is like number 13. What inspired me to do YouTube was first my inspiration to travel, straight up. And I felt like if I'm going to travel, that I might as well document it, because I could capture time in history, and I wouldn't have to tell people about my travels. I could show them about my travels. I don't have to, nobody could say I'm capping about it or bragging about it, because they could just go and see it. I've said it before, I was inspired by Marwar, Passport Heavy, and Ace. And these were guys who were, and still, well, not Marwar so much right now because he had a child, shout out to Marwar, but they actually travel. They travel. They've traveled to probably somewhere over 40 countries. I'm pretty sure, maybe Ace not 40 yet, but these guys really travel, in my opinion. And that's what I was inspired by, their travels, their exploration of other countries and cities. And I'm talking about this because I just wanted people to get the realistic, because there's a movement of a lot of YouTube travels supposed to be in the travel sector. A lot of new YouTubers, you see some of them doing some mistakes, and they don't really have the finance. And let me tell you, if you want to make money on YouTube, do YouTube from home. If you're doing it for money, do it from home. Because you could do way more talking, commentary, response videos that could cost you nothing. You can get a camera or your phone at home and make all the videos you want and build an audience that way. Travel YouTubing is one of the most expensive YouTubing things you could do, because you are constantly spending money on flights, you spend money on hotel accommodations, you spend money on transportation even once you arrive, and food, entertainment, and all of that. You spend money to go to sightseeing, you spend money to go on tours. So, thank you. Thank you. So, the travel YouTube space is the most expensive. You would have some travel YouTubers who, travel YouTubers who ask other YouTubers for money until they get their next check. It's that serious out here. We've heard stories of guys getting stranded in other countries and having to call on people and do fundraisers, cash apps, and stuff to get home. So I just wanted to touch on the realities of this new inspiration. And to me, if you're going to do travel YouTubing, then you really need to be traveling. There's a lot of people supposedly in the travel YouTube space that are sitting at home making videos about other people traveling. And is that really adding anything to the space? And maybe they're doing that because it is expensive, or is people trying their hardest to travel 4 times a year so they can consider themselves a travel YouTuber? Trust me, stay home and talk if you want to make money. And then there's also the sector that now more conversation is less about travel, it's more about women. And so that's not really travel YouTubers either. I'm just, when I make these videos and I get all types of response, agreements and disagreements, and I'm not, it goes with the territory. I'm cool with that. I just ask that you be respectful, because when I make these videos, I'm not disrespectful. Or at least for the most part, I'm not disrespectful. That's just not how I am. I make these videos, people get very offended sometimes. It's not personal. And I have to say it over and over again. It's my opinion. And my opinion comes from my experiences or my experience. I couldn't have an opinion on something if I wasn't involved in it. I couldn't have an opinion on a place if I never visited the place. So I'm having this opinion on how I see the travel space and YouTube going, because I've been doing it for roughly since 2019. So over 5 years I've been doing traveling, making videos, editing videos, and sharing my adventures. And it's not all that it's cracked up to be. So if you're thinking about quitting your job, and I can't tell you what to do, you're a grown man, borrowing money, asking for money, raising money to travel just to be a travel YouTuber, I think, okay, if you're young and you live with your mom, you're under 30 years old, you can do what you want to do. You're a young guy, it's your life. You got somewhere to go, you still got time to build your future. And I started this because I love to travel, for one. I was establishing business. Next 2026, I will be, my barbershop business will have been in business for 30 years. I raised
my children, I was married. So for me to have the time and the resources to travel is something that I built up to. I built up to be at this point where I can do this and try this and it be a hobby. I have time and resources to do it. But I would say don't, depending on your age, don't chuck your life away or not prepare yourself for your future. If you're over 30, 35, 40, I would say do YouTube. Everybody should have a YouTube channel, just like everybody has a Facebook, everybody has an Instagram and everything else. But I would say do YouTube and see if you can make enough money on YouTube to then quit your job. YouTube is a side hustle. Yes, I make money on YouTube, but could I live my lifestyle solely off of YouTube? No. And 99% of YouTubers probably would agree that they couldn't live their lifestyle off of solely YouTube. When you make money on YouTube, it helps. But if I didn't have the other things I have going on in my life, there's no way you would see International Zoe traveling around the world doing YouTube. It's only because I put in so much work earlier in my life. Now, if you're young, you have an advantage. You can do that. Like, I'm not going to college, I'm going to travel around the world. A lot of people do that. And what's going to help me travel around the world? Doing YouTube. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not such a bad idea for a young guy who lives with his parents, don't have those type of responsibilities of a family or children or a house. You could always get rid of your apartment, sell your car, travel around the world, and live off that $1,000 a month if you can. But I just want people not to be so bedazzled by what you see on YouTube from other travel YouTubers. It's not what it appears to be. I couldn't always be fresh and have nice glasses and travel around the world just off of my YouTube check. Now, some people are fortunate enough that their channel has grown to that point where they can solely do YouTube and live off of YouTube. But what will happen to these people if something changes from YouTube? What happens if they lose their channel? They're demonetized. You know what I'm saying? Where's their future? So even when you do this, you need to prepare. You need to have a stock portfolio. You need to have life insurance. You need to have medical insurance. You traveling around the world with no medical insurance, you need travel insurance. I'm just saying, guys, it's not that important to have a few fans and be famous and chuck your life away trying to be a travel YouTuber or a YouTuber in general. You could be a YouTuber. And a safe way to do it is not to be a travel YouTuber. Just be a YouTuber. Find a subject matter that you like and talk about it from the comfort of your own home. And traveling for girls to be a YouTuber, that ain't a travel YouTuber either. So let's get back to traveling when it comes to this travel YouTuber space. Let's actually do some traveling. Let's actually have some conversations about traveling. These panels, well, let's actually have some guys who are traveling who can give you information on destinations. Not just a whole bunch of people arguing and bickering about girls and how much they cost and the prices going up. And you guys are just doing this, just doing that, and arguing and bickering. When did the travel community become that as its main focus? When does interviewing somebody who crashed out on a trip is more important than somebody who's actually has something to share, a real experience of traveling around the world? Just my thoughts, Shout out to the people who my prior videos, the people who agree. Shout out to the people who disagree with respect. Shout out to y'all too. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, and I never said I'm all the way right. And there's not enough time in the day to walk down all the intricacies. When I say these things, it's food for thought. I'm bringing up a topic, which most of them could be further discussed in a serious manner, but I'm just bringing up the topic as food for thought. That's all. It's your boss, International. So, hey man, don't get bedazzled by this travel YouTube sector and fantasy. It ain't all that it's cracked up to be. Peace.